Hey there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we talk about three or four interesting tech topics, find you some fun library fact, get you on your way in about 20 minutes each week. As always, if you have any stories you'd like us to cover, Creation Station at broward.org comes right to me and we'll try and get them on the show. Today I have Mario Ricardo from Community Engagement. How are you doing, Mario?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing today, Bob?
So Mario is helping us wrap up Veterans Month.
That's right.
Uh, Mario's, how long has it been since you were out of the Air Force?
About a year and some change. Not that long. Yeah.
No, not at all.
No,
It's
not
been a
not very
life.
long.
It's been
Yeah.
a lifetime for me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was. Wow. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't want to ask you your birthday on air because we don't want to get you doxxed. But we're gonna have to compare notes on that at some point here. Exactly. Just how long have I been up versus you've been alive?
Yeah.
Uh,
Time flies, that's for sure.
yes, it does. Definitely, definitely, definitely. We have some fun stories like we always do. I'm going to bring up our browser here to chat about these. I was been teasing that it's all Artemis all the time lately, it feels like.
Mhm.
Couple of quick stories to hit for people so that you understand what's going on. One was I thought this was a really nice image, of on its way out to the moon here. This is a real picture from the spacecraft that NASA published, not an animation or anything. But the fun one for this was they have it so perfect. They got it within 3 miles of where it's supposed to be, but it actually blew off. They don't have a picture here in this article, but the big, huge launch tower that's out there, the big mobile thing that they dragged the rocket out to.
Yeah.
It was so powerful. They did miscalculate that one, and it broke the doors. The service doors at the bottom of the elevator blew right off and just broke.
Yeah, I was reading about that in the article, and I just kind of want to go back to the first picture you showed. That, I mean, it's unreal. Like, you're saying it's not photoshopped, and obviously it's not, but it does. There's just something about it when you look at it that it just looks so like unreal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
It's been a
definitely,
long time since we've had anything out there that could take a picture like that.
yeah, and it's definitely much better quality than previous
Huh?
pictures.
Yep, yep, yep.
They're on the
And
NASA
you can
website
see
for
here on the
anyone to
Orion
view.
capsule, you can see all the little nozzles from all the various engines, all of the stuff that's going out of there. They made it here. This is an actual just animation, so we're not going to bother with that one. But they did manage to get everything set. And here's another version of a similar photo there from that on the 21st. So we are closing in on this. It's really a lot of just an awesome experience. I've just got so many of these different pictures that were out here but this is the one that interested me.
Hmm.
Um, I
That's
just had a,
awesome.
I just had a talk with somebody about, oh, well, why are we bothering to do this? Come back and talk to me when we actually put people on the moon. And it's like, well, we've never been here. That's the thing about Artemis. If anybody hasn't been paying attention, I'm going to show you a map in just a second. Artemis is going to places that Apollo never went, and going on the far side of the moon and farther away into deeper space. And it's the first time we've ever had human rated spacecraft out that far. So this is a test, and you've got your crash test dummies there, and Callisto, um, which is the. Have you seen Callisto, Mario?
No, but I do know that there's like a video game coming out called Callisto Protocol, and it has to do with like a guy that's like a space explorer, and he's like stranded, and things kind of take like a twist there. I don't want to spoil too much, but
Yeah.
the
Yep.
name just reminded me of that, so I thought that was pretty cool. It's
They
coming
did.
out next month. Yeah.
That's kind of how they came up with this also. In tandem, the same idea for this name. This is the Amazon Echo for spacecraft.
Oh, okay.
That's what the Callisto is there. And then to the left there, you can see the dummy, the crash test dummy there. And there's a couple of stuffed animals also there. strapped in with him that they use to test just how much free fall they're in, so that they know when they're out in microgravity, those little stuffed animals start rising up off of his lap and go down. And this is where all those radiation sensors are and all these things to test how much they're getting out here in deep space. And then when this thing lands on December 11th and they go back and pick it up, then they're going to test to see how well it took for how many G forces were inside of the capsule at the various spots and stuff like that. And if you are interested, as always, all these notes we're going to have links to all these in the show notes. Here is not a live picture. This is an animation.
And that's tracking its movement?
This is tracking its movement out there in the world and where it is. So let's come in here and is it going to let me scroll back? There we go. Come on. There we go. So you can see how far out there and rotating some of the tracks and stuff like that. There you go. That's a better view of it as it goes around the Earth and then goes out and around the moon and way out there.
So
and you can see it's not even done.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And this is a 21-day mission. So this is not like we're going 3 days there, 3 days back, and we're finished. December 11th. It's already been up there over a week, and we are still waiting another 2 weeks for it to come back.
Should be happy after, the delays and everything. It's finally out
Yes.
there, and it's exciting. Definitely, hopefully we get to see, a Mars landing or something like that within our lifetimes. That'd be pretty neat.
That would be interesting to see if they can pull that one off. Yeah, I'll be happy with the moon.
But baby steps for now, right?
I want to get on the moon. Let's get off the rock. Get some people onto another location. Emergency backup kind of stuff.
And this is definitely the first step towards that, believe it or not. So.
Yep. But you can see here it's moving at 2,821 miles per hour right now. It's already been gone for 7 days and 13 hours. So. But there is other news other than Artemis out there, folks.
Sadly.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's go off here on this. And this is took a long time for this to get around. The FCC put out a thing for testing how much coverage is there for internet all over the United States. Well, the results are in, and it may or may not be great for you. So here is another one of these things. Here's the website you go to. You can type, and you don't have to type in your exact address. You could just type in any place that you want to.
Ohio State.
There's something pretty important happening there this Saturday. The game. Michigan. This is why we're launching into here and taking care of it. But so, being in all seriousness, here's a map of their campus and what the various internet provider detail is for here. And you can come in here and look and see, and you can go to any one of these sites and see exactly what kind of technology it is. And here we are in the middle of Ohio, in the middle of one of the top campuses in the United States. And you can see all these gray dots all along here where are places that you cannot get 25 or higher internet speed. Even though when you zoom out here, look at that. That looks like it's great. And you got this whole flood of internet there. When you start zooming in and you get into these things of exactly what kind of coverage they have and where. And this is what I wanted to show everybody out there. Look up your own address. Don't do it when you're online showing other people what your address is. And you can go in and verify what internet is available in your area and challenge or mark it on the map so that the FCC sees whether this data is correct or not. And I'll give you a really good example. Here is one from up in Vermont. And you can see that Vermont here has 100% coverage. But The fact that it's got 100% coverage is because the FCC says you could use Starlink, which is a satellite provided internet service. And so that means you should have a 100% chance of getting broadband in that area. As I mentioned here, for the person from Vermont who's challenging some of these things, it's works great if you have a satellite dish and you're facing north, and if you cut down all of the trees and you take a blast off the hill next to you, then you can get pretty good coverage and be able to connect to internet.
Yeah, and then
So,
another thing worth noting also in those remote areas, they're really restrained by like data
yeah.
limits, like download,
Yep.
sizes and certain things like that. So it's not just having the ability to access it, but also what they can do with it. And now, in a time when a lot of people like work from home or use it for meetings or connecting with family, like they shouldn't have to worry about how much they can download or speeds or anything like that. It should be, pretty much available for everyone.
And it's not, I pulled up Vermont because I wanted to make sure we're doing something outside of South Florida,
Yeah.
but you can do this for anywhere you live. Who's ever out there listening to us, go in and check the map, see what it's like for yourself, and see what's available for you. One thing that it does do is it does tell you who is providing the technologies here. So here in Ohio, you can see here who's available to you. Acquisitions is a cable, AT&T is copper, which means DSL. Charter Communications, Cincinnati Bell for wireless, various satellites, and then fixed wireless, meaning you've got basically a cell phone connected to your modem that brings your what brings internet to your house and then converts it to Wi-Fi for you over 5G in most cases.
Sure, there's somebody out there still using dial-up out there.
I know it's horrible. Yeah,
Yep.
that's just not fair. Everybody deserves to have reasonably charged, easy access to the high speed internet. You need to be able. If you can't watch and respond on video, like you said, that's not possible anymore. That's just like saying, oh well, you can use the electricity some parts of the day. That's just not a reasonable thing in our society anymore.
I didn't know there were so many different ISPs because being, a South Florida native, we're so used to just like Xfinity
Yep.
being like the dominant, name in
Yeah,
broadband.
you've got Xfinity, you've got AT&T, and in Coral Springs and in Weston, you have Blue Stream
Okay.
as an alternative, and that's it. You're done. There
Yeah.
are none of the small ISPs down here.
And I'm sure that most of you got that email last week that there was a price increase coming for Xfinity, like $10 or something like that.
I'm not on Xfinity. I'm on Blue Stream. I've got a really good deal. I've got full gigabit to the house, so I'm pretty happy at the moment. But I'd like to get
Yeah,
2 gigabit if I could,
that's
if anybody's
awesome.
listening.
Yep. It'll come.
Yeah, we're hoping. We're hoping. We're hoping.
Yeah.
And so our next story, we've got two more stories here for you, and we've got multiple articles about these two things. One is renewable energy. We've been covering a couple of stories also on doing desalination stuff over the last couple of episodes. And they have come up with, and out in CNET did a really nice article here on how the echo wave, these blue floaters right here, can just take the power of regular waves on the shoreline and turn it into electricity.
Yeah, that's I was reading about that and apparently it's like 50% effective, which is impressive in my opinion. So like apparently, yeah, right there. 50% of incoming wave energy is successfully converted to electricity, and I think that's pretty awesome, especially, going to a more sustainable future. People are
Yeah.
trying to do everything more, greener, more sustainable. That's definitely going to be a huge step towards that. So
Yeah, and one of the
imagine if
great,
everybody
yeah,
implements that, if it works out successfully and we start implementing something like that, especially here being surrounded by water.
exactly.
You know what
See,
I mean?
and that's the point because these work anywhere there are regular waves.
Hmm.
So the west coast of Florida, maybe not as much. There's not enough wave action there because the Gulf of Mexico is pretty calm. But here on the Atlantic coast,
Mm-hmm. Oof.
we've got waves. It goes up and down. And it's as you said, it's more efficient than solar panels, more efficient than wind. And because it can be plugged directly into the grid, it can supplement and add to those other alternative power sources when it's dark out, for example, and solar power doesn't work when it's dark. You're feeding off the stored energy, or wind, and you're feeding off stored energy when the wind speed isn't proper. This, you're going to have waves all the time. It's a great way of backing up how it works. And these things are so customizable that you can build them up to you can build individual floaters that fit any size that you need. And we've got those pictures here of this. I'll show this other one here. Another one. This is one that sits out farther out in sea, and just as it goes up and down, this is a more traditional wave generator one. They've used these in a lot of spots around the world to generate electricity already. So it's a really interesting. I'm going to bring up some other pictures of this here for you. If it loads, is it going to load for me? There we go. It's not liking it at the moment. Well, we'll just
No,
skip the pictures. Yeah.
but definitely,
Um,
if used in conjunction, I think with windmills and solar panels and
yep.
the rise in electric vehicles that we're seeing, um, I think it's definitely going to be good for our environment and good for us in the long run. Hopefully, it's not just a fad. Hopefully, it carries on into the long term.
Yeah. No. I 100%. I fully agree with you on that one. That we're definitely. Holy cow, man! All of the things popping up on here now today.
Yeah, I see that. You got a lot of tabs open too.
Yeah. Did a little bit of research before the show. I was looking for some other things. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, wait, oh no, I don't have time to talk about that one. Yeah, no.
Yeah, anything past 3 tabs, I start to like panic. I like to have 3 to 4 open.
Oh, I try to close them all before I leave.
Yeah,
I dislike closing and going away and never. I always restart. But yeah, I'm a moderate tab person.
you're a
Not heavy.
multitasking
Yeah.
tab person. Yeah.
Yeah. And this one that we've got up now, this fits, a lot of my kind of things with doing all the virtual reality gear and doing those things. There's two big stories that came out about this. One was how various businesses, in this case, aerospace, how do you set up your virtual reality training for it? If you're going to be doing trainings in VR, how much of the VR have you done, Mario?
Quite a lot. Since we're on the topic of Veterans Day and all that, the
Yeah.
military, it's something that we used a lot. When I was at least, when I was in the service at least, because the weather was so bad and like, icy conditions and all that, a lot of times we would just train indoors and we had like a VR setup indoors and like training with weapons and different types of things like that, different scenarios, and it was very realistic. And I think that it can be applied to not just that scenario, but a lot of other different scenarios, like you said,
Yep.
the airline here. But I definitely do have some experience with it, and at least from my usage, it's been very consistent, it's very reliable, and I was able to learn a lot. And you can implement it to a lot of different applications
How
as
did you
as
feel
far as
with the
things.
movement portion of it?
With the movement portion,
Yeah, when you're moving around in it.
uh, I thought it could use a little bit of work, but as far as like the accuracy and like the pointing and things like that, that part, I thought it was very accurate. But as far as like tracking your movement, it could use a little work. But then again, that was like maybe a year, 2 years ago, so technology was still this type of technology was still
It's still going out there,
pretty
yeah.
new, yeah. So not bad at all. Not a
Yeah,
bad
and that's
alternative.
and see, and that's real world example, folks, because of what Mario's talking about there, and that mirrors what they're talking about here in the article. That it's the VR applications that they're using to train pilots and stuff works really well for here's the layout of your instrument panel, and here's how you use it, and here's all you do. But then when you're trying to do something of, and then because they also use this for truck drivers and train operators and everything. It doesn't do as well when people have to do something for a longer term. When you're doing a checklist on your instrument panel, it's great. When you have to do something longer term, people just don't like sitting in VR, hanging out, waiting. They want to be doing
Hmm.
things.
Exactly. Yep. And
So,
it's also interesting, like I mentioned video games a moment ago, but there's also like a ton of simulators out there that people actually use to like learn how to drive trucks, learn how to, I don't know if fly airplanes, but
yeah,
be like a truck driver simulator, a farmer simulator. Like there's so many of those different types
yeah,
out
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and they are implementing the VR headsets, and it's really cool, like how people are learning in different ways now. Um,
Yeah, we got to get you with, we work with Martin County Library System. They've got flight simulators up there
mhm.
that they use. And then
Yeah, that's
we
yeah,
connect in with them with our VR and it looks like you're actually in the plane flying. It's great. It is
yeah,
so much
and the
fun.
graphics are insane. It's like
Top of the line. It's
yeah,
incredible.
yep,
And so what we're talking about here with our final story is that's what it's all about is having people create whole entire homes, rooms, redecorate in VR first and then put it out. Um, some of this stuff here is a little over the top for me. I think both in like what they're doing and price wise, because when I'm reading
yeah.
here about a $500,000 renovation for a kitchen, I'm like,
Dude,
um,
no thanks.
yeah. So, but then again, they can go to, you can design it in VR and then print out this wallpaper and have that wallpaper that you design in VR that fits your custom space and everything and print it out for $70 for every 10 square foot, which is on the high end for wallpaper, but not totally unreasonable if you're doing customized stuff. Yeah. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, like if you're like for example, if you're on a website to like buy furniture, like I was trying this out the other day. I think it was furniture or something. It's like has an option that you click on it on your
Yep.
phone and you point at
Yep.
it and it's like view it in your living room and it puts the item like right there.
IKEA
Yeah.
and Lowe's both have that. Yeah. I think Home Depot does too. Yeah.
Yeah, and
They all have
it's
those
it,
things.
it
And you can
puts
put
it
it
like
in. Sherwin-Williams has the paint color thing. And you can view it all through the augmented reality through your phone and set that all up.
yeah,
We're
and
getting
even if you're
there.
buying a pair of glasses, you have like the thing now where you can like click on it and it do like the selfie camera and it tries it on your face
Yeah, yeah,
without
yeah, yeah.
actually having glasses
And,
on.
and doing all of your various eyeglasses now and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting there. It's going to be a little bit harder to tell the difference, I think.
Hmm.
We have
We're
some
blurring the
teaching.
line for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to teach some classes in that part of it there,
Hmm.
I think. We've already blown right on past our 20 minutes there, sir.
Whoops.
Thank you. No, don't worry. It's a great day. I love sitting here and hanging out and talking.
Same, yeah.
Um, thank you very much for helping us wrap up Veterans Month
You're
here.
very welcome.
As
Shout out to all the
always,
veterans out there. Thank you
yep.
for your service and for your sacrifice. Thank you.
And as always, all the veteran services are available to you 24/7 through the library website. And we have a Veterans Corner at every single location in Broward County, all the libraries. So you can, if you're stopping by, you can pick up any info for what you need for whatever services you need, whether
Well,
that's a Wi-Fi hotspot, whether that is just information on how to get healthcare, work with the VA, etc. So, with that, I'm going to throw up our final slide. Thank you again, Mario. And if there's ever a favorite librarian or library you'd like to see featured on the show, let me know. Creation Station at broward.org. And we'll see everybody next week.
thanks
Have
for
a great
tuning in.
day.